gotta let it go. Keep turning, step around. Keep turning.
Because Jake Paul doesn't know better. He can't learn how to win that front foot challenge by the time he fights Tank. Tank is a southpaw. If he, just like Terence Crawford did against Nello, he gets on the outside of Jake, and that left is coming down the pipe all night while he stays away from Jake's right hand, it should be an easy fight for Tank.
Jake Paul, that's what, 6'3", 6'4", almost? Then you got a guy, Gervonta Davis, that's like 5'5", a little guy. Yeah. Y'all gonna try to, who's 200 pounds, just for Mike Tyson there, I'm gonna throw him in there with a 135. It's just a circus.
Terence Crawford has reportedly been sparring with Gervonta Tank Davis ahead of Davis's showdown with Jake Paul, and the sessions sound insane. Both fighters are training sharp techniques and heavy combinations, giving Tank a real test against Jake's size and strength. Crawford's accuracy and defense push Tank to level up fast. Fans are buzzing, calling this sparring the secret weapon that could give Davis a serious edge heading into fight night.
Oh, stop closing up. Gotta let it go. Keep turning, step around. Keep turning.
The Wade Concept podcast host noticed something different about Gervonta Davis this camp. A whole new attitude. Tank's workouts are sharper, his focus locked in, and his energy electric. Gone is the playful side we've seen before. Every punch, every drill, every step screams determination. He's not just training to win, he's training to silence doubters and send Jake Paul crashing down. His speed, power, and aggression show a fighter on a mission to prove that size means nothing when skill and will collide.
It's how you get better. But Jake's, obviously sparring smaller guys. Seeing not only what weapons they bring to a sparring session because, they're not as big in stature. There's going to be a 60-pound weight difference probably. Actually, a little bit of update on that today as well. Tank's looking a little bigger than I've normally seen him. We'll talk about that in a second. But obviously, Jake is going to work with some of the better guys in the smaller weight classes to get prepared for what Tank could potentially bring. Now, Tank is a one-of-one in that respect, so it's difficult sometimes to prepare yourself in that same way. But on that same note, we have a couple new things out from Tank Davis. Number one, it's not necessarily new, but the last kind of work we've seen from Tank, just in general, is this video right here. Just chopping the bag, turning over shots. Chopping to the body, every shot to the midsection. Now again, not to read too much into things, but we go back to this video, and I don't know what's being said here between Ray and Jake, but he's telling him, something with the high guard. Don't even do that. I'm trying to draw a parallel between potentially what Ray Ford did to Jake in this spar and what could potentially be going down in Tank's camp that can line up the dots. Again, we don't have a lot to go off of. What we generally think may happen in this fight is that Jake Paul will probably use his size, his frame, and his power to try to land big shots, not throw a ton of punches, and not gas himself out against Tank, who, again, this is an exhibition. Yes, there'll be judges, and someone, I guess, will win, is what they're saying, but does that mean that someone actually has a win-loss on their record? No, because you can't sanction something like this in a pro fight. Tank, on the other hand, who already is a low-output puncher, is going to look to utilize his speed, his head movement, his quickness, his agility, his angles, his footwork, his defense to offense transition, and vice versa, to catch Jake when he does eventually open up with bigger punches and make him pay. Also, he's going to look to slow Jake down and potentially work him into those later rounds to where Tank can still be explosive. And when I look at this little exchange from Jake and Ray Ford, again, I could be completely missing the read here. Ray is either telling him, this is what you need to do, or this is what I was able to do to you because of, we go back here, because of this high guard, I was able to get to your body. Something like that maybe. Or it could be, again, I could be just completely missing it. And then you see this from Tank. All body work. just hammers to the body. Level changes, head off center, angle switch, all that work in the bag. That was one of the more recent videos we saw.
Showbiz the Adult tackled one of the biggest debates, the height and reach difference. He reminded fans that Tank has faced bigger guys before and beaten them convincingly. Showbiz pointed to Davis's win over Mario Barrios, a taller and more experienced opponent, as proof. According to him, Jake's reach isn't the threat people think. Once Tank finds his timing, he'll break through the distance and land with precision. Size may look like an advantage on paper, but against someone with Tank's ring IQ and explosiveness, it could quickly turn into a weakness.
Look at that. Did he reach him? He sure did. Look at the height, 6 feet and 6'1". The height comparison ain't much different. And the thing is, if you look at him, the thing is, look at how Tank shows that he can reach him. See that push? Look where Tank's hand is. Look at where Jake's chin is. He can reach him. In reaching him though, can he hurt him? The gloves are big. You get what I'm saying? Jake Paul is a big guy. They're going to be fighting at 195. When Jake Paul gets in the ring, he's going to be 200 plus. All right? He may be around 210. Think Jake's going night-night? Okay. Tank studying? Okay. Let's look at Tank. That was just a couple days ago. They captured that just a couple days ago, him training for Jake. Of course, that's a 300-pound boxing bag, a heavy bag, 300 pounds. So he's swinging it. Let's look at Gervonta and look at Barrios. Let's look at a few highlights here. He can reach 6 feet, no problem, let alone 6'1". Ain't gonna be that much of a difference. All right. Let's break down what we saw here. Let's think about this. Let's think about it. Now that we know he's reaching, let's think about this. Who's a more skillful fighter, Barrios or Jake Paul? Ain't even a damn question. Barrios a far more skillful fighter than Jake. Who has better reflexes, Barrios or Jake Paul? Barrios. Barrios has better reflexes. Okay.
Terence Crawford offered a grounded take on the matchup, giving credit to both men. He admitted Jake's size and reach are real factors, but he also noted Tank's incredible timing and knockout instincts. In Crawford's eyes, either fighter can win if they play to their strengths. Tank's got the speed and accuracy. Jake's got power and toughness. Crawford's balanced view comes from experience, reminding everyone that in boxing, skill matters most, but physical tools can still change everything on fight night.
Tank is very talented, punch hard, explosive, the whole 9 yards, but Jake too big for Tank. In reality, he's way too big for Tank. I think Jake by youth.
Recent footage of Gervonta Davis has fans fired up. Tank looks terrifying. His combinations explode off the bag with insane speed and raw power. Every punch echoes through the gym, showing a fighter in peak form. This isn't a man training for a paycheck. This is a champion out to make a statement. Even analysts admit this fight blurs the line between sport and spectacle, but no one can deny it's capturing the world's attention. Love it or hate it, this clash is reshaping what modern boxing looks like.
Fights like this with fighters pretty much in their prime. But other than the size mismatch, most people are wondering why has Tank taken this fight? And those were the first questions targeted to Tank in this presser. Because usually these sorts of bouts are relegated to the latter part of your career. And for most Gervonta Davis supporters, they thought they would get the big fights next, the Shakurs. They didn't think he would be fighting Jake Paul. Although Tank tried to push it off as fans should just be happy watching the sport and hey, haters will be haters, I think that's quite unfair to the people who have been loyal supporters of him and honestly have paid his bills. He tried to compare the level of criticism he gets to the likes of Mayweather, but the difference is with his mentor Floyd, he really did fight a lot of champs in their prime. Has Tank? Well, not really. The most notable fight he's recently had that the people actually wanted was the Ryan Garcia fight, and the only reason he took that fight was because everything was on his terms. And other than the Ryan fight over the last couple years, it's either been people who aren't in his weight division, which he's pulling up, or fighters ranked in the lower half of the top 10 lightweight list. The fights people have truly wanted to see just have never materialized, and simply that's why people criticize him. If the likes of Crawford never fought Spence or Usyk never fought Fury or Joshua, they would have caught the same level of flack. The reason why fighters like them are applauded is because generally they take on whatever challenge is in front of them. Tank instead, his whole career has bobbed and weaved around the most significant challenges that the people actually want to see, unless he has everything his way.
Former world champ Chris Algieri praised Jake Paul for bringing fresh life to boxing. He said Jake has reconnected the sport with younger audiences and created hype that traditional stars couldn't. By mixing influence and athletics, Jake turned fights into must-see events. Algieri believes that, whether people love or hate him, Jake's marketing genius and work ethic have helped boxing stay relevant in a fast-changing media world.
Ignored it.
Nothing to do with him. Let's go with the Jake Paul route, which is, again, mostly win-win for him. It's more win-win for Jake, but it's mostly win-win for him.
All right, so what does Gervonta Davis...
Hold on.
I gotta respond. That's what I want, Chris. Go ahead.
I didn't even get to talk.
Please.
So, what has he done for the sport? I mean, manufactured or not, he went out there and he performed and he got knockouts and people tuned in. Boxing fans tuned in. And you can talk about that shoe fight and that shoe. They're not boxing fans. Gervonta Davis sold pay-per-views to boxing fans. And he got boxing fans to come to fights, which is so needed. Desperately needed in this day and age.
They marketed him that way. You can market anybody. You can market it that way. You can market it that way. And champ, you should know better because you and I were very marketable and never got any marketing except as opponents for high-level fighters. And you should know that. They talk about great white hypes and all this other stuff. No, that's absolutely not true. They manufacture what they want to manufacture. Shakur Stevenson can be marketable. He's not ghetto enough. Andre Ward was very marketable. He's not ghetto enough. Why do black fighters only get marketed when they're quote-unquote ghetto, when there's class guys who you can market as great examples? Shakur Stevenson, Andre Ward, so on and so forth. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Yeah, I'm saying it. People complain because I'm too real, and I'm going to be honest. Why could Ray Leonard be manufactured as a... I don't even want to use the word manufactured because Ray Leonard actually was legit.
Great fighter.
But Ray Leonard promoted as the class guy, and it worked. Why could you do it back then, but now you can't do it? Andre Ward was gold medalist the same way, class, could speak, mature, poised, could fight his ass off. Why didn't you market him the way you marketed Ray Leonard? What happened between 1976 and 2004? Why are you marketing Why are you marketing only Thug Life? Why? And I'm not saying, okay, I wasn't a part of this because I was a big fan of the hip-hop gangster rap generation and all this other stuff. But as a 44-year-old, you start to realize the concept of the entire scope of things.
Analysts say the outcome of Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis could shift boxing's future. This isn't just a test of strength, it's a battle over the sport's identity. If Jake wins, influencer matchups might explode in popularity, merging fame with skill even more. Some call it progress, others call it chaos. Either way, this fight represents a turning point, forcing fans to decide what kind of boxing they really want to see.
Modern combat sports.
Hate it, the algorithm loves it, and both will watch. It's not just who wins, it's what wins. Will the entertainment value or the ring IQ come out on top? Because if Tank dominates, the meme dies. Jake Paul survives or hits it big, we see new rules are going to be written in real time. Me, you, maybe everyone at some point has been that bigger guy thinking that I'll just bully him. Jab, slip, liver shot, sat me down real nicely. Size helped until it didn't. All I'm saying is let's not dismiss something because it looks weird. Many fights get decided by the details. Feet before fists, timing before muscle, discipline before clout. Look, Tank wins if he stays Tank. He's built on patience, traps, explosive counters. That's hell for a tall guy who gets eager. Jake's long jab is the gate, but Tank's head movement is the key. Once he times it, the door's getting open and the furniture is going to get rearranged. Think locksmith versus padlock. Big padlock looks scary until the right tool clicks once. Jake throws that overhand like he's bowling with the shoulder. Effective, but you don't see it.
right, that was yeah. I don't think the record really means much.
But Tank's whole thing is seeing what you think you're hiding. So what cracks first? Patience or posture? Size is real, but it's not a strategy by itself. If Jake tries to lean, clinch, slow it, sure, but that's survival. That's not victory, unless he's landing the right. Jab, grab, breathe. Meanwhile, Tank is downloading, collecting timestamps. Ever see a big guy wrestle? Yeah, those first few minutes looks like a forklift, but by minute 5, forklift needs a nap. Can a forklift catch a fly? Only if the fly gets lazy. Jake's body will be open, especially after mid-fight when hands start sinking. And when the guard starts to wither away, so will the chin. Body shots don't ask permission, they collect rent. Liver! You don't need to be a heavyweight to fold a man who's exhaling. A small, sharp guy versus a taller frame, seen it 100 times. You touch torso early, you tag shoulders late.
Opinions are split across the boxing world. Critics argue the matchup isn't fair, saying Davis's smaller frame makes it an uneven fight that should be treated as an exhibition. But seasoned trainers push back, claiming Tank's timing, footwork, and precision could completely dismantle Jake's size advantage. They say skill beats bulk every time, and Tank's career proves it. The debate keeps heating up, showing how this fight sits right at the crossroads of real competition and entertainment spectacle.
About it, my question is, what's the rules? And like, are they gonna actually try and knock each other out? Because it's gonna be a glorified sparring match. I'm not watching, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Jake's gonna have a hard time hitting him.
Yeah,
you know,
big time. Gervonta's so fast and skilled.
Gervonta's gonna eat his.
I thought
guts.
Jake was gonna fight Anthony Joshua. That seemed.
No, that was actually getting.
That sounded more
craziest idea I've ever
Yeah.
heard. Jake Paul trying to fight Anthony Joshua is, you know, crazy.
Not a sanctioned professional bout. This means the fight will not count towards either fighter's professional records.
So it's still being finalized.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that.
So what is so behind the scenes? You think there are things like, hey, we don't punch each other in the jaw.
Yep. Or don't go. We can punch in the face, but don't go for broke. Like, don't knock me out.
Really?
Yeah. It's an exhibition.
That's
so
not
they
very
can get away
interesting
with
to me.
No. Until I find the rule sets, but when I hear exhibition, I'm like, okay.
Jake is bodied up, man.
He's big.
Yeah.
Probably has 100 pounds on Gervonta.
Maybe. I'd say Gervonta probably walks at 150.
Oh, he's so small.
So small. I mean, he's really small. Bring up Gervonta Davis next to Floyd Mayweather, because I've seen Floyd in person and he's tiny. You've seen Floyd in person?
I've worked with Gervonta and Floyd.
Tiny.
Well, Floyd dude. Likely has shoes on there.
Oh, dude, he's so small.
He's tiny, guys.
Yeah. I mean, he's so small. Wow.
Former super middleweight contender Jesse Hart openly defended.
Former contender Jesse Hart came to Tank's defense, shutting down critics who question his motives. Hart explained that Davis isn't hurting his legacy, he's adapting to the new boxing business. Today's sport rewards big events, not just belts. By taking high-profile fights like this, Tank's securing his future while staying in the spotlight. Hart called it smart strategy, not selling out, because in modern boxing, legacy and money now walk hand in hand.
If you want to join the circus, that's the circus. I don't see the value. I just see money involved in that. If they want the money, if that's what they want to do, then go ahead and go ahead and get the money. But other than that, I'm not. You got a guy, Jake Paul, that's what, 6'3", 6'4", almost. Then you got a guy, Gervonta Davis, that's like 5'5", a little guy. Yeah. Y'all gonna try to, who's 200 pounds, just for Mike Tyson there, I'm gonna throw him in there with a 135. It's just a circus, and that's what they want to do, to get money, to generate money in the sport of boxing instead of Gervonta Davis. This is a legacy fight. He was supposed to fight Lamont Roach after this, and then he say, no. Think about it. You really can't say too much. When you say Gervonta Tank Davis and you say Lamont Roach, there's still a question mark on that fight. It was still a question mark on that rumble. You just gonna leave it and then go right to the money and say, no, I ain't. That's how you know legacy and everything don't matter. I did that before. I took the money with the Joe Smith fight when my hand was fucked up and, excuse my language, my hand was messed up, broke in training camp, and I still said, yo, no, I'm taking that. I'm still fighting him. I'm not gonna not fight him again. I'm gonna fight. We're fighting him, Dad. We're fighting him, Rick. We're fighting him, Fred. I went against everybody. Jesse, don't take the fight, man. Let your hand heal. Let's get the surgery. No, I'm fighting him. It's too close. We 3 weeks out. I'm fighting him. We're gonna take a week off from the gym, and that wasn't an excuse. That's documented.
That wraps up today's breakdown. Make sure to hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more updates as fight night gets closer. Until next time, stay sharp, stay tuned, and keep your gloves up.